Hi everybody and welcome. This time we're looking at a variation for the pucker whistling style. This variation is called warbling and it sounds like this. The way this sound works is it's a normal pucker whistle, but the tongue is actually moving inside the mouth. The tongue is touching a place at the roof of your mouth. It is like changing between two positions. Each of these positions has a specific pitch, and when you alternate the tongue position, the sound changes and you get this really pleasing effect, in my opinion. Like this. So without further ado, we should go through 4 steps to help you learn this sound. So step number 1, obviously you want to have a strong pucker whistle, and make sure you're not using too much air. Make sure your jaw is relaxed. Make sure it is easy for you to hit melodies and carry tunes like popular songs or nursery rhymes, or even the major scale. This should be very easy for you. If you're struggling with this step, I think you may need to practice for maybe a week or 2. It will help, I think. A strong pucker whistle is the very basis of this variation. So, step number 2. Make sure your pucker whistle is done with the tongue, like the tip of the tongue pointing downward. The tip of the tongue should be pointing upward. So it is actually possible to do the pucker whistle with the tip of the tongue pointing downward too. It would look like this. But this will not actually work for this whistle. So the difference is this. This is not correct. So the tip of the tongue should be pointing up. Okay, to make it perfectly clear, it has to be pointing up for the kind of variation to work, so you're able to move the tongue. And this brings us to step number 3. With a strong pucker whistle base, you're going to have to learn the variation of touching your tongue on the roof of your mouth. So if you picture the roof of your mouth here, it kind of has this arc at the center. So picture your lips at this end, and this end would house your throat. For low pitches, your tongue should be touching at the back of this arc, and for high pitches, the tongue should be touching at the front. So to give a demonstration again. If you want to try it without the whistle, you can kind of try out this whisper. If you have a sound similar to mine, I think you're on the right track. So try this. It's pretty silly, but if you're having trouble with the whistle sound, the whisper should sound the same, I think. So learn this variation, that's step number 3, and then the final step, step number 4, you've probably already guessed it, but this is alternating between the 2 positions of the tongue. So you can start with either position. You can have your tongue at the bottom or at the top. I'm going to demonstrate it with the tongue at the top. So if I start and then drop the tongue slightly, the tongue should move maybe about a centimeter or 2. I don't know how to show it too accurately, but I think you get the picture. The amount the tongue should move should come pretty naturally, I think. So it should sound like this. If it doesn't sound like this at first, do not worry about it. If you get the tone where the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth, that is very good. You just have to kind of focus on the switch. You can do it slowly at first if you want to. The speed will be very much easier after you have mastered both these positions of the tongue. So start slowly and then pick up the pace when you are feeling like it. So I think that's the 4 steps. I'd like to address a few things that you can use this whistle for. So the first is pretty obvious. If you are whistling a melody, a song that has a sustained note, the long note, you can, instead of holding the long note, you can of course do this variation instead. So if you were like, you can warble the 3rd note. You can also warble each different note, specific note. If you do like an, let's see, pretend you were saying like la or li, ra 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 for each note, like la la la. You can do an effect like this. And one more interesting thing you can do if you are a beatboxer and you're doing some beat, you want to inhale and draw air in. Instead of letting the audience know that you are taking a break, you can kind of mask it with this whistle. So this whistle is also possible, it's also possible to do this whistle inward. It's the very same thing. So you just kind of, I have to note that for this whistle, or the inward version of it, I have to kind of position the tongue more to the front for some reason. I don't know why. But also if you want to draw in more air, you can use the nose. So if you're like really gasping for air, you have some pressure in your mouth, and then you can draw more in using your nose. But this, I think this is something you should not practice. It will come naturally. So I don't think I have anything more about this. So I bid you a lot of good luck for this. Hopefully you'll find a good application for it. And if you're having trouble, you can hit me up with any comments. Send me links to your attempts, either audio and video, audio or video, and I could take a look at it. And with that being said, I think good luck, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.